count out Casey Drake in that 87. He's right.
One more lap to go here at Indy. He ran him all the way from 3 seconds back. 2 laps to go. Oh, Alto gets spun. Oh, Metchu gets the apron. Around goes Drexler. He spins right from the back. Huge wreck. The 2 flies up in the air. It's 3 wide. Oh, what a move by Derek. He wants to go.
Tries to send him up the hill, but can't quite do it.
Now between the 2 car lengths. Too little, too late for Derek and Smith. Oh, clapping gets third. Clapping gets third. Oh my gosh. Side by side. 3 wide at the wire.
And we welcome everybody back here live for tonight's iSCAR RaceLab's Cup Series event. Round number 19 out of 20 brings us to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We're going to duke it here for 80 laps of racing here tonight at IndyCar's World Center of Racing. My name is Ezeckiel Reyes.
And I'm Dewey Schramm. Thank y'all for tuning in here for tonight's race. And if last night at Michigan was any indication of what this weekend is going to look like, we are in for another treat here for tonight. We ended up with a dead tie in points to determine who was going to make it on to the Final Four over in the Truck Series. So we'll see how this one unfolds as the night goes on. And as we take a look at the points after last week's race at Kansas, Parker White currently with a 15-point lead over second place Christopher Weil. So it is looking pretty good right now for the 095, despite the fact that he was eliminated from last night's truck chase. Nick Miller received a penalty post-race last week and was relegated to last on the lead lap. So he comes in tonight 7th in points, but only 3 points behind Cole Williams. So it is not out of the picture for any of these guys yet, but I think that 095 definitely safe going into next week.
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, that big win at Kansas brought him in with up over 10 on Weil, and should be interesting to see on how he'll fare here tonight. I mean, he's sitting second in practice as of right now. Speaking of practice, we'll go ahead and pull it up here on the left-hand side, see on where these drivers run out on the racetrack for right now. But in terms of speed, Hunter Johnson is blazing right now, 2/10 faster than that 095 of Parker White. There he is on the board. And for Parker, I mean, as you said, you got to take it smooth here for tonight. Don't wreck it. Get yourself to the end.
Yeah, with as big of a cushion as he has, again, 15 points even on second place, and I believe 18 on fourth place Cole Williams. I mean, obviously he can't finish like dead last because that puts him in an extremely dangerous spot, but I think this is going to be one of those races where he just might take it easy, hang in the back for most of the race, and if there's a caution with maybe around 15, 20 to go, you might see him try to charge up to the front then, but definitely don't take any unnecessary risks if you're that 095 with such a massive advantage as he has. But you know, Christopher Weil, the pink car that just went by that 095, currently sits third in practice. He's had one of the best seasons out of anybody so far, but he is only 3 points above the cut line, so as good of a season as he's had, he still cannot afford to have a slip up here tonight.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the only driver who's really secure on in is Parker White. It's Christopher with 7,022, William with 22, Cole with 19, Aaron with 19. It's point back to Carson with 18, and 2 back to Miller with 16. So the gap from second all the way to 7th it's only 6 points. So basically, we're looking at a Kansas scenario in which, I mean, everybody's just reset with points and such. So it should be interesting to see on who those drivers are going to come out up top off of that exchange, but we'll have to find out on if that's going to change here with this qualifying. Of course, qualifying awarding an extra bonus point as well. So be back right after this. iSCAR RaceLab Cup Series round number 19 brings us at Indy, as we're going to go ahead and transition into the national anthem. So rise up, remove your hats as we salute our nation's colors. And we welcome everybody back here live for the iSCAR RaceLab's Cup Series. Round number 19 out of 20 brings us to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. About to go green here just momentarily. Currently under qualifying conditions as of right now. Drivers taking their fastest two around the racetrack at this 2.5 mile racetrack. The third racetrack that we're racing. That's over 2 miles in length. No, actually, our fifth racetrack that's been raced with over 2 miles, because Michigan and Auto Club do exist.
Yeah, the 2.5 mile track here at Indy, that is absolutely nothing like Daytona and Talladega, so we'll see how these guys decide to tackle this place. As you look at the 23 of Micah Rizzero, currently the fastest out on the charts, and to see if his second lap can best the one that Hunter Johnson just went down, a 50.433. So just as Rizzero got up there, he gets bested by Johnson and Casey Drake, who had a great run last week at Kansas. So we'll see if he can repeat that tonight after that top 5 finish he had.
Still a lot of drivers out on the racetrack. Currently 16 have logged in a lap time. There's Miller in the 95. He works himself through.
Well, anyone that's not on track yet, though, they kind of have to get on track now. I mean, you only have 1 minute and 40 seconds left, and with a 50-second lap time, you know, you only have enough time right now to only put 1 lap down. So, shorter qualifying, or I mean, it's really the same qualifying period, but with a much faster, or actually much slower lap time here tonight. Less time to wait on pit road. So, anyone that's not out on the track yet is probably not going to be able to put a lap down here tonight. So Parker White in the 095, one of those. So he might be playing it safe. He might be deciding to start from the back here for tonight. And just as I say that, I am proven completely wrong. And we'll see where this lap puts him out on the board. Looks like it's going to be good for P6. So a good first lap for him. And he should have enough time to finish his second one, probably with about 5 or 6 seconds to spare. As we look at the 92 of Connor Brandon, had a good run going last night at Michigan, but got caught up in a late race deal that took him out of contention. Hopefully he can have a better run here tonight after all those head issues he's had recently.
Connor was the last winner at this racetrack. That brought him into the final 4, so Connor needs to go clutch time if he wants to win this race. You know, Connor's got to go in victory lane this season, so it should be fun to see on how the 92 will fare out here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And you're right, P4 he goes.
Good lap for him. Won't have enough time to put a second one down, but P4 is going to be a pretty good starting spot nonetheless. And looks like Christopher Weil in the 41 is going to miss out on a bonus point by just 1 spot, as Hunter Johnson will be your pole sitter here for the penultimate race of the Cup Series season. We'll transition ourselves here into the brief 5-minute warm-up period, and we'll go over race analysis and info while these guys get themselves some last-minute track time. Race analysis here on the left side of your screen. 2.5 miles in length is this Indianapolis Motor Speedway. One of the most famous racetracks in the entire world, of course. Built in 1909, made famous by the Indianapolis 500 that has run every year since then, I believe, except for 1 year. The noon time or noon session setting. So it should be a pretty warm track. We'll see how slick it gets later on. Pit road speed of 60 miles per hour. However, this is a very, very narrow pit road, so it's a good thing collisions are turned off on the pit lane. 4 extra tire sets for these guys here in tonight's race, and a fuel window of 35 to 40 laps.
I feel like there's going to be something to watch out for. We're only running 80 laps here for tonight, and for a fuel window around 35 to 40, that's going to cut it close. So should be interesting to see on how it'll all turn out to be as we take a look at the weather. Currently 115 at the racetrack. That's really slick, and especially with like a one-groove racetrack like Indy, it's going to be hard to nail down your corners.
Yeah, I mean, you could see, oh, that is bad, but we'll probably see a deal where most of the passing could end up being maybe a guy getting loose in the middle of the turn with how slick it is or something like that. We'll see where the most of the passing is, but with a one-groove racetrack like this, passing can be of the essence. It might be a bit difficult, so we'll see how everybody decides to tackle their individual races. With that track tempo 115, again, that could make for some pretty slick conditions here tonight. So it should be a fun one here as we narrow our chase field from 7 down to 4.
Yep. If you haven't been at Indy, I suggest you go there. I've been there a couple of times for different events for what was the F1 qualifying races. I mean, not qualifying races, but just F1 qualifying on the road course. But track length 2.5 miles and length turns 4-1 in each corner, banking around 9.2 degrees around this racetrack. Straightaways have that blank for right now. Laps 80, 250 miles. Actually, 200 miles, excuse me. Not a 250 mile event, it's a 200 mile event. So let me go ahead and change that real quick. Parker White was our last winner at just last week. I forgot what racetrack it was, but hence why he is the point leader. And yeah, it was Kansas.
And you mentioned Hunter Johnson, the last person to win here at Indy. So we'll see if he can repeat here tonight. And it's already got the pole. Oh, okay. Well, we mixed those around, but Hunter on the pole nonetheless, though. He should have a good shot here tonight. Connor qualifies P4 after being the defending winner, so good shot here for him as well. Parker White in the 095. P3 here in this warm-up. Qualified in the top 10, and again, he is the driver most secure into next week. I mean, he's not mathematically locked in, but he has a much bigger cushion than anybody else did. And, you know, Christopher Wiley comes into tonight's race second in points, but he's only like 3 points above the cut line. So being in second place right now doesn't really mean a whole lot, because even, you know, one bad lap could drop you right out. So he'll have to play it safe, but also be aggressive. I mean, it's going to be an interesting balancing act, I think, between these guys that are going to be competing for these final 4 spots, because you don't want to get caught up in something that, you know, that'll take you out too early. But at the same time, we saw last night that bonus point that Malachi Drake got was the difference between him making it in and missing out. So it should be an interesting mix of guys trying to go for maybe that bonus point early, or maybe playing it safe and hanging in the back for a while.
Yeah, that's right. It made a difference for Malachi, hence why he pulled himself into the final 4 just yesterday. And if he didn't get that bonus point, he wouldn't have the tiebreaker with Cole Williams. So bonus points just tell you how much they mean. And with everybody just so close in points, I think those 6 drivers, excluding Parker White, out of the mess, because you know he's secure in over by 10. But for the rest of the other guys, man. Bonus points are going to be essential, so staying out to lead a lap may be a good call.
It shall remain to be seen, as there's William Schmidt in the 79. He tied with Malachi last night for 3rd and advanced by 1 over Cole. We'll see how he fares here tonight, and that's it for the warm-up. So it is race time. We'll get these guys gridded up here on pit road, and we'll get you the starting lineup here for the second to last race of the Cup Series season. And starting on row number 1 will be the pole sitter Hunter Johnson in the 12, and to his outside Christopher Weil, second in points, second on the grid.
Row number 2 going to be Cole Williams in number 42, and Connor Brennan, last year's winner in that number 92, he'll start 4th.
Row 3, Casey Drake had a good top 5 run last week at Kansas, and Micah Rosero, who won a race not that long ago.
Row number 4 going to be Parker White in the 095, the man who's really secure in on points. He'll start in 7th. Dylan Basin right alongside him, that number 08, going to be in 8th.
Rest of your top 10, Carson Poindexter, one of those on the outside looking in coming into tonight's race, and Luca Faro in the 54, a good qualifying run for him. Rest of the order will be shown on the bottom of your screen. Pick your favorite driver or chaser and hope they do pretty good, and maybe advance on to the final 4 and have a chance to compete for the title next week. There's Nick Miller, one of our other chasers. Roll off P12 here for tonight. Aaron Brown, one of our chasers. I believe he's tied with Cole for 4th coming into tonight's race. He'll roll off 14th. Keep scrolling through the field and see where everybody else rolls off here. Malachi made it into the Final Four by a point last night. William Schmidt, one of our 7 chasers, back in the 20s. And looks like it's going to be about 26 here for tonight. So 27 last night at Michigan, or 29, and 26 here tonight. So that means that even though Parker White comes in at tonight's race with that big points advantage, he is not mathematically secured into next week with the field size that we have. Even though he's got that cushion, we saw last night that Cole Williams' 14-point cushion was not enough to overcome his poor finish last night. So Parker comes in with that advantage, but will it be enough to keep him there?
We'll just have to see. We'll scroll through the field and list out the playoff drivers. See Parker White back there toward around midfield. It's going to be 41 Weil starting in 2nd place. Scroll back to 12th, and that's Nick Miller in the number 95. Aaron Brown right behind him. Look like going to be starting in P number 14. So it should be interesting to see how all these drivers will fare out, especially at a track like this, in which hitting your lines throughout the racetrack is just so key to working your stuff around Indy, and consistency is going to be key to get yourself to that bottom lane.
Yeah, without a doubt. Of course, one of those racetracks that is a bottom line dominant track, so you're going to definitely want to get that bottom side as early as possible and stay there for as long as possible. His car will make the left turn here onto pit road. Hunter Johnson and Christopher Weil will lead this 26-car field to the green. And we're off and rolling here at the Brickyard to determine who will make it into the Cup Series Final Four.
Work themselves into 1 3 wide action all the way to the bottom side of the racetrack. That's Aiden McDowell as the 08. I think I was Mason trying to come down as Brody, or that might have been Brody Garton. No, that's not Brody Garton. That's Kyler Wynn, excuse me, who sort of gets scrambled off of that mess. Front though, Hunter Johnson trying to lead the lap, but while fighting back on the high side, he needs this extra bonus point to lead his lap and get himself forward to have a charge in for the Final Four coming next week.
See a couple people towards the back pit started, which is an interesting strategy here to see how that works out for them, as Wiles trying to make that high side work into turns 3 and 4. Currently has the nose on the 12, but that bottom side being so dominant, we'll see if Hunter gets the bite out of 4. And it's going to be a drag race at the line. And for Weil, even leading this 1 lap will get him a bonus point. And will he get it? Looks like, I don't think he did. I think Hunter just got him at the line. So for Weil, he still needs to get at least one of those laps led to get an all-important bonus point. Because again, remember what we saw last night in the truck race, where Malachi staying out leading that lap under caution ended up getting himself onto the Final Four.
Themselves off the corner. This side-by-side racing has reeled into 92. Connor Brandon into the mix, so he'll work himself to the backside of these top 2. Might have an opportunity to maybe take it 3 wide into the corner, but Connor's going to help the 41, who just about gets pushed into the corner. Connor really not really going to fight on the high, on the low side. No reason to, as Weil tries to clear the 12, will do so finally, and
got him.
Got out of the line. I got him off of 4, and
that was a good move by Weil. The bottom side is so much more dominant, but it ended up passing the leader on the high side, and there is your bonus point for the 41. So that is an all-important point here that he can use later on if he ends up running into some trouble. So he is now 4 points above the cut line after coming into tonight's race 3 up. So a critical point for him. Now if he can try to gap these guys and stay out there for a while, he might be able to position himself perhaps later on to maybe get that point for the most laps led too.
Look at Weil trying to break the draft. He weaves down to the inside of the racetrack, all the way to the grass, running it like an Indy car, trying to get those top 2nd and 3rd away from them. But they're side by side for 4th place. That's going to be, looks like Michael Rosero and Cole Williams going to go at it. And Cole will slot himself right in front of, I think that's Basin of the 08. So, good move right there. But up front, still at number 41 of Weil is slowly starting to pull away from Hunter Johnson.
Wiles doing a good job of trying to break that draft. You can see the whole field snaking their way down the front stretch and into turn 1. Saw Cole as we're on board there with Luke Lafaro in the 54, and a big moment there right in front of him by one of our chasers, Aaron Brown in the 11, who came into tonight's race tied with Cole Williams for 4th in the points. So every position counts for him as he tries to block the 54 and keep him at bay. With the 42 only 3 spots behind the 11, he is in right now, but still plenty of racing left. See if he can stay there.
Aaron hit the wall off of 2, and that really hiccuped him. So we'll see if Joe Berge and AJ Bain could pull up on this mix. And you see there, that's the number 79, William Schmidt sort of following in this group as well as they work off of 4. It seems as though this top 3 have this track nailed on. They're ready, pulling away from that number 23 Rosero, who's gapping the 42 of Cole Williams. So we're going to have a 3-car battle here for this 5th spot momentarily. They're starting to stack up again, and it seems as though Cole's opening up the door for Basin. I have a battle here for 5th, as they're also side by side right behind. That's the 77 of Diallo.
Yeah, I think I confused Cole's car and AJ Bain's car. So Aaron Brown is a couple spots behind Cole. So he's out right now, but again, still plenty of racing left to try to get that back, as Luke Lafaro will push that 11 to the bottom side of Andy McDowell into turn 3, so an opportunity here for the 11 to pick up a spot. And out of turn 3, still side by side, but he'll have the bottom side advantage here through turn 4. And I think he might get it at the line, and he's really blocking that 54. So I think the 11 will have this position at the line, but man, they are going all over each other right now.
Yeah, I think the 54 Lafaro is just trying to push into the corner, as here we go, got a fight as Berge is trying to fend off Bain, and they're starting to stack up AJ. Loose off of the corner, and here comes Justin Johnson in the mix of this, and that number 79 seeing all this battling right in front of him, sort of scared to really maybe go and try to attempt the move as AJ gets loose again. All the way to the apron he goes. He's probably going to lose some 2 or 3 spots.
Good save, though. Managed to keep it out of the grass and in the lead pack. And speaking of the lead pack, these top 3 are gone. Wild, Johnson, and Brennan have checked out from the rest of the field, and Wild's about half second up on Johnson himself. So this field's starting to separate a little bit, as Rosero now leads this second pack in 4th, as the rest of the field snakes their way out of 4th.
The driver who pit started was the, I think, 84 of David Bachman. Garrett Hess and Corey Long and Chandler all sort of left on an island of their own. And you see back here, Poindexter in this number 21. He's running in 19th place. He's not having a good start to his race. But of course, the caution could reset those things and get himself back situated. Parker White got high off of 2. He might have tagged the outside wall. A bit of scrambling toward the back. And that's William Schmidt working around Justin Johnson.
Yeah, I think Carson was one of those that pit started to start the race off, maybe fearing that an early wreck would happen towards the front. So we'll see. He'll probably need a caution at this point to try to group himself back in with the main pack. But right now, maybe not the best of strategies to employ, as Omar Diallo gets himself around Nick Miller. That is for P9. Miller, of course, one of our 7 chasers, but comes into tonight's race 7th out of those 7. So he's going to really need to get his game on here if he wants to get himself on Homestead next week.
Off the corner, and look how close they are, right up against the wall.
Oh, Aaron! Oh, man. That was close between him and, looks like that's Lafaro again. I think the 11 got really loose out of turn 2 and had to chase it all the way down the apron to try to save it. And here comes Berge making it 3 wide into 3, trying to take advantage of those guys, and he will get by both of them. And I think Schmidt's going to take it 3 wide here as well, trying to get this spot away, and almost contact between 2 of our chasers. I think Schmidt's going to have it out of 4, but look at this entire pack as Johnson flings it down to the bottom and makes it 3 wide again, as Lafaro makes a move on Berge at the line.
Oh, they're all over each other. I expect a wreck, but it looks like Johnston's going to back out of it before any collision happens, so AJ Bain gets snuck up into this mix, and they're still just about all over each other. And no, the 2 and 8 make contact, and they get themselves back in line, as now leading this train is going to be Lafaro. Man, that was fairly dangerous between that whole entire line, and they're really separated from the 20 of McDowell, who's on the trail end of this other pack. And this is Dylan Basin sort of in the mix of it, who has a lot of right front damage, I just noticed. So I'm not really sure where he picked it up, but Basin with some early damage on that right front.
Yeah, it's probably hampering him a little bit, but still running in P6. Hasn't lost a whole lot of ground, so may not be holding him up that much, but definitely something to keep an eye on as the night goes on. As we complete lap number 10, so an 1/8 of the way here through the night already. As Johnson has reeled in the 41 of Wild, that gap was up to around half a second, now down to just a couple of car lengths. So we'll see if that 12 can make a move here on the 41 as they have left the 41 in the dust, and somebody has gone around out of 2, and that is Basin, but he holds on. So that's the second or third time now we've almost seen somebody spin out of turn 2. And here comes Casey Drake in the 87 looking for 6th on Parker White. I think he might have this run here out of 3 or out of 2. Something like that. One of the turns.
Yeah, Basin just nailed the wall again. That right front is going to be destroyed as Johnson seems as though he has a run a wall, but pretty complete pass right there. And look at this battling going on. Parker White just about tagging the outside wall. 3-1, and it's Diallo to the bottom. Parker's going to switch lanes all the way down to the inside line. And oh boy, this is the dangers about Indy and blocking all the way to the apron. I mean, not really an apron around here. It's just the inside wall, so not a lot of real estate to work around that inside wall and not really nowhere to judge off of it. Regardless, they keep themselves straight, and Parker White retains 6th spot for now. But the man who's really plowing through all this mess is 77 of Diallo. He started himself toward the tail end, started himself in 20th, now he's worked himself in the 8th. So he's making something off of it, but man, he still has a huge gap from himself and Wild as he now guns for this 6th spot.
Yeah, that 77's been one of the biggest movers of the race so far since the drop of the green flag. And up front, Hunter Johnson has retaken the lead away from Christopher Wild in the 41 as the 92 of Brandon slaps the wall there out of turn 4. But something interesting I want to point out is the way that these guys keep snaking down the front stretch to try to break their draft. That is something we see a lot in IndyCar races here in the Indy 500. So it's interesting that we're seeing this in the Cup side of things as well, that these guys are employing the same tactics that IndyCar guys do. And it seems to be working for right now for the guys up front. Battle for 4th. Here comes Cole Williams trying to get 4th away on the high side from Michael Rosero when he's got the run down the backstretch to do it.
And they're still side by side. Rosero to the quarter panel of the 42, reels him forward, and they go side by side into 3. Cole's probably going to use that outside line and try to pinch down Rosero as much as he can so he doesn't get a bite. Indeed he does so they're still going to be side by side, and Rosero did not get a good entry into the corner. And now they swap lines off of 4, and Cole is playing with danger right there with a pit entrance.
Yeah, almost to the inside wall there, and we saw somebody hit that attenuator in the Indy 500. Spencer Piggott got it earlier this month, or not earlier this month, but last year in the race. So hopefully nobody hits that tonight, because that would be really bad if somebody got into it. And into turn 2, battle here between Basin and LaFaro. I believe this is going to be for 11th, as Basin was running in P6. We saw that there was that contact with the outside wall he had a couple times, and looks like it might drop another spot here to the 54 into 3. Here's Schmidt running all alone here in 13th. Got a good gap in front of him and behind him, as Virgin and Brown go at it here for, I believe, 15th.
All right, man. Caution is out.
Oh, got a caution happening toward the back. Around goes Justin Johnson, so
first of the night.
Looks like he doesn't have a lot of damage, but regardless, he does go around.
If I had to guess, it might have been a deal where he lost it out of turn 2. We've seen that be a trouble spot so far tonight. So this will group the field back up, and we'll see what got this 2 car into trouble. And indeed, out of turn 2, hits the wall, and unlike the previous cars, wasn't quite able to save it. And he'll go for a spin there. Doesn't hit anything, but this will group the field back up for the first time tonight. So we should see pit stops here next time by for the first of the 4 tire sets that these guys have, as Kyler Wen looks like he also got the wall. But that's Bachman.
So around goes Justin. I'll bring us under caution for the first time tonight. I expect everybody to hit pit road. I mean, based off of the fuel window, you have to hit pit road in this scenario to make it all the way to the end. I mean, not all the way to the end, but just a 1 stop it from this point forward. Now, field's probably all the way, it's like turn 4, so here we go.
And I would expect the entire field to make their way through. Looks like we could see somebody stay out, perhaps, or no. And nope, Aaron Brown's going to stay out in the 11. That is a good choice for him. That's a bonus point that the 11 will pick up for leading the lap. Hopefully he actually gets in front of the rest of the field, and indeed he will. So bonus point to the 11 there, which could be big in terms of maybe getting him in. Again, we've already seen that be a deciding factor this weekend. So he'll take the bonus point, and that'll hurt him in track position early on as Hunter slides his way into the pit stall, and Connor overshoots in his as well.
Yeah, so it seems as though some driver did not actually stop through. Might have missed his pit stall. That would be Garrett Hess in the 91, so just straight through he goes.
And Weil first off pit road. Bull picks up 2 spots. He's up to 3rd. As Connor, that overshoot's going to cost him some spots. As the rest of the field makes their way off the pit lane. Couple of stragglers here further towards the back. So good stop there for Cole, as Schmidt's still on pit road here. I don't know if he got a speeding penalty or something, but almost 40 seconds now for that stop time.
Maybe he's taking a bit of optional. Not sure if he ended up getting a bit of damage on the right side off of that green flag run, but regardless, he's on pit road. Moves himself to the back, and Aaron Brown, of course, we just mentioned about him. He's going to lead the lap under caution. Going to come in with 1 lap to go, put on some fresh goodies on it, alongside with Hess in the 91, so they're going to be all the way in the back, but regardless.
And Weil will be the leader for the restart as well. He jumps the 12 off of pit road, so he'll have control on the restart. And I mentioned Cole Williams got that great pit stop, was running in 5th, will now be 3rd on the restart, so good job by him. Or 4th, I think Aaron might be staying out for the restart, and maybe he's going to try to save a set of tires for later on?
Not a good idea. I mean, with this caution, it's still going to bring you just 1 stop around that lap 40-ish mark. He's just going to have to hit pit road a bit earlier than usual, but Aaron going to gamble to stay out. I mean, I'm not sure how it's going to work for him. In terms of track position-wise, Weil's going to start in 2nd place, and I think with Aaron starting up front, that inside line's going to be propelled forward, and Weil is going to fall through, maybe around 3rd or 4th, so let's see on how it'll all turn out, but Aaron Brown's going to lead this thing through the green.
I do wonder if he's potentially banking on a late race caution coming up. We saw that last night where William Schmidt and Malachi Drake pit around, I think, 5 or 10 to go, and they rocketed through the field and got themselves up to 2nd and 3rd and into the final 4. So if he's banking on some late race cautions where, maybe the rest of the guys may not have tire sets anymore and he might have an extra one, it could be a deal like that, but that is a huge gamble because now he's going to be on older tires and everyone behind him is going to be on fresher tires. So this is a really interesting gamble that the 11's doing here, but will it work?
I'm not really sure. I mean, it's going to be hard.
It's going to be interesting for sure.
Yeah, no doubt he's going to fall through the field, but I'm just interested to see on how he's going to filter through because, Indy, it's a one-line racetrack, and to see the 11 sort of blockade up front, that is going to jam up a ton of people and might cause a wreck. So they got to be wary about the 11 scenario coming to the green.
Yeah, that's the risk with staying out like this is, again, he's going to have older tires that no one else has, and see how he fares here.
Green.
To the bottom. We're already back green, and Weil already makes a move to the bottom side of Hunter, and they're all over the place right at the line. The 11's going to lead the field in the turn 1, but I don't know how long he'll be able to save himself out there.
Oh, he washed up the racetrack. Here comes Weil.
I think he's going to try to pinch the 41 as much as possible. He can't really do anything on those older tires as he slides up the track. As Rossero's going to catch him here out of turn 2, and will probably give him a push here down the backstretch as the 11's going to continue to drop spots here into turn 3. But Weil retakes the lead here as Cole files himself now into 3rd, and the 23 finally gets by the 11, but not before losing 5 or 6 spots.
Yeah, that's so frustrating if you're the number 23 Rosero. I mean, just getting trapped behind an anchor like that number 11, and the 11 already filtering back all the way to, it looks like, 11th place. So, oh, big block right there as Miller just about filed the 83 of Berge nearly into the inside barrier, but luckily no contact there as they work around the 11. Up front, though, with Weil now up front. Hunter Johnson in 2nd place. I mean, there's $10 on the line. Just keep that in mind. Who knows how it'll all turn out.
Diallo up into 4th now after starting this race back in 20. He's up 16 spots since the initial drop of the green. So that 77 definitely one of the best out on the track since this race started. And here he goes into 3, trying to get 3rd away from Cole.
I think Diallo might win this race. He is so fast. I mean, he's plowed himself from dead last in the field, now all the way to 3rd, and it's just a matter of time before he passes the 12 and that number 41 of 100 Johnson Christopher Wild. So all eyes are on the 77 of Omar and how he's going to retain, I mean, 2nd and 1st, but side by side right behind as see a bit of battling between Cole Williams and Connor Brennan. Sarah in the 23, who lost a ton of ground, is going to take it 3.
Interesting move here into turn 1, and he might be able to make this thing stick as, whoa, near contact there with, I think LaFaro and Andy McDowell had a close call there in the middle of the turn, as Miller will try to take advantage of that by passing the 54 up high, and I think he might get it down the backstretch with that drafting help from the 20.
Man, Parker White just about went around in turn number 1. He cut down at the 20 and sort of jammed up and bottled up everybody, but luckily everybody kept it straight. So Parker retains 7th spot for right now. He has to keep himself in front of the 95 just for compensation for that final 4th spot.
Yeah, and Aaron Brown, who again, we saw him stay out earlier and lead us to that restart. He is now back in 22nd place, so those older tires have sent him all the way through this field now. So I don't know really why he decided to stay out like that, because he's now lost a considerable amount of track position. So he's going to probably need another yellow to come out to regroup him with the field so he can pit for tires then. But if this thing stays green for a while, it might become a long night for that 11.
Look how high they run off of 2 as a couple cars scrape the wall, and there's sort of IndyCar lining down the straightaway trying to break the draft. 54 LaFaro currently holds the final top 10 spot. It's Joe Berge in the 83 trying to make some noise, and here comes Poindexter. He's now worked himself into the middle portion of this field. He resides in 12th between Casey and Berge. So watch out for this 21 as we progress with the 9. One car to the outside wall. That's Justin!
Whoa! Whoa! And Johnson has to fling it down pit road to avoid hitting the pit wall. And he's going to put the brakes on here. I'm sure he'll probably request an admin to clear that speeding penalty. But
oh, no doubt about it.
He hit the wall out of 4, and he pretty much had to fling it down there to not hit the pit wall. And that's going to cost him a ton of ground, and an unfortunate break for him. And he'll probably need a yellow as well to try to regroup himself back into this field. That was close.
Yeah, I think that's around where Schmidt was as well, so near contact, just about killed at number 2 of Justin Johnson as well as William Schmidt.
Yeah, that would have been really bad.
But
yeah, if he had hit the pit wall, he either would have gotten directly stuck in it or gotten straight, or he could have ended up flying back out onto the racing surface, and that would have been really bad because somebody probably would have clobbered him if that was the case. So disaster averted for sure for Justin and company. As you have a battle here in the middle of turn 2, that's Miller and McDowell going at it. As you look at some guys further back in the field, there's Miller and Andy with LaFaro right behind him. At 54 has had a great run so far tonight. Started himself in 10th and currently resides there. So quiet run going for him to see if he can get himself to stay there, maybe even higher by the end of the race.
Miller came in last out of the 7 chasers, but he's doing a nice job of compensation, keeping himself inside this top 10. But still a lot of racing to go as LaFaro's going to peak up high. Still 3 cars within this pack, and it's McDowell sort of sandwiched between these 2.
Diallo's gotten by Brandon for 3rd. That 77 now up 17 spots since this race started. And only about half a second behind Hunter Johnson right now. So that 77, I think, is going to definitely have a shot at this lead perhaps in these next couple of laps as he tries to reel in that 12, who's currently about a second behind Weil as we go on board here with this 77 of Diallo. He'll follow that 12 down to the bottom as he tries to break the draft from him. Seen it all race so far between pretty much everyone in the field. And we'll see if we can try to close this gap and maybe make a move.
Now everybody's sort of fanned out except for this spot. This is Berge and Poindexter going to go at it into 3. Berge, huge overshoot. He washes up in turn number 2 and is going to lose on these 2 3 spots as Basin works to the backside of him. Just about. Oh! Good save there by AJ Bain. He got sideways off of 2 and just about went around, but AJ keeps it straight. Going to lose a spot to Corey Long, though.
Confuse those 2 again. Those are very similarly colored cars there. But yeah, AJ will drop a spot there. 2 that I'm here in turn 3. Up front, Diallo still hasn't quite been able to close that gap between him and Hunter, but I think the 12 was knocked off a couple tenths from Christopher Wiles' lead, and I think the draft off of Diallo might be enough to where that's now prevalent. As into 1, here's LaFaro trying to get that spot away from Andy, and he will make that move on the high side for 9th, and he will clear out of turn 1, so a good move there for LaFaro as he tries to make his way through this field.
That was impressive by LaFaro to make an outside pass into turn number 1, in which we call this track an inside line racetrack. One groove around here, but LaFaro sailed it into the corner enough to clear that number 20 and McDowell. And, got a wreck toward the back. Around goes maybe AJ Bain. And
he just towed it. And I think that is going to be the cause here. That's caution number 2. Or actually, he may have just hit pit road. That car looks like it's fine. Or I hope that wasn't what the caution was. See what happened in here. And oh, maybe he was calling it a day, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, he towed it off the racetrack. I'm not sure why the caution was thrown. He is way off the racing surface, and iRacing triggered the caution anyway.
Yeah, he went onto the infield road course to try to, I would assume, to not bring a caution out, but unfortunately he ends up bringing one out anyway. But a good break there for Aaron Brown, who we mentioned before stayed out on those older tires for the restart. So he'll have an opportunity here to come down pit road after running on those same tires for the first 25 laps of the race. And a good break for, well, I was going to say a good break for Justin Johnson, but he's now 4 laps down after that contact out of turn 4. So this will reset the field again, and we'll see if Aaron is the only one that hits pit road, or if we'll see these leaders perhaps come in as well.
I expect everybody to come in this time by. They still have a lot of tires left, and
yeah, three of them still, or 3 sets.
Yeah, so 4 extra tire sets. They'll use 2 if they want to work themselves on the pit road, but it looks like we're gonna have a split decision. Hunter makes the late left move onto pit road, and got a split decision. Wow,
that's about as split as it can get right there. So while Rosero, Miller, LaFaro, and 2 others stay out, and everybody else decides to hit pit road, led by Johnson and Diallo. So about as split as you can get there in this field, and we'll see who can win this race off pit road here, but whoever does, looks like we'll line up 7th for the restart.
Yeah, so... Oh, man.
And looks like Cole is going to elect for 2 tires, perhaps. Actually, that's a lot of these are either 2 tire stops or fuel-only stops.
Wow.
So there's quite a few of them, actually. It looks like 4 or 5. I think Andy may have perhaps overshot his pit stall. He's shown as a 0. But that is an interesting strategy call. Again, either 2 or fuel-only for all those guys. So we'll see how that works out for them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure about 2 tires. It'll help the center of the corner, but you know how much just tires in general just helps you around a 1-groove racetrack, and I'm split on the decision why. And for all these drivers stayed out, I question them even more. Like, why stay out at this portion of the race? We're only lap 27 out of 80. We're yet to cross the halfway point, and I'd stick to your strategy, to a safe strategy until we cross that halfway spot, just to, be safe. I mean, in my opinion, these drivers are staying out. It's not going to work for them. And once the next caution comes out, they're going to be shuffled right behind all these drivers to hit pit road. So, very curious on why. But regardless, it is what it is. And they're going to gamble to stay out. And that's about 10, 11 lap old tires they have on right now. So, one to go. A couple takers toward the back and fling it on the pit road. Joe Berge, William Schmidt amongst those people as well. So,
yeah, quite the interesting call there for those guys electing for 2. Perhaps trying to save tires for later on in the race. I mean, there could be any number of reasons for that, but I'm certainly interested to see what they might be.
yeah, so, man, I didn't expect strategy to be such a factor so early in the race. And I mean, here we are regardless. So 21 cars on the lead lap. All the cars who are out on the racetrack are on the lead lap, excluding AJ Bain, who's on pit road. So, man, I'm not sure about the call to do this. I mean, it's an interesting one for sure, but I'm curious on how it's going to pan out. I'm not sure if Indy is really that much of a track position racetrack. Like at a track at New Hampshire, in which it's just 1 mile and not a lot of racing room out there. I'd expect drivers to stay out there, but here at Indy, in which you're running 2.5 miles every lap on your tires, and that was a fairly long run last time they had it. So it's going to be interesting if this thing even goes green all the way. So we'll just have to see as Space Car scoots itself down the pit road and to take the green flag while stays himself out alongside this whole entire top 6. Going to be a scramble to see on how the drivers with fresh tires are going to work through the field. And oh boy, they are.
Yeah, they're wasting no time at all. They're almost 4 wide back in the field. As Mark White makes a big move on Connor Brennan into 1. Almost contact between those two, as they're 3 wide still with Diallo up top. As Weil and Rosero still lead this field through turn 2. It's going to get a bit dicey. These guys are all over each other here, as those 6 on older tires are probably going to get cycled through the field shortly. As the 4 of them are still 1 through 4, but you see all the jostling. I don't know how long they're going to be able to stay up there for.
Cole just about came down on base, and it was in a 3 wide scenario. Look at the amount of drivers who are washing up. Just about 4 wide right behind, as Williams going to split it 4 with, I think, Aaron Brown.
4 wide here. Somebody almost hit the grass there in the middle of the turn there. They're playing with fire right now, as one mistake there could send this entire field around. As at the line, Weil has it. But here comes the 23 of Rosero trying to take this lead away from that SPM machine. Weil trying to hold it up top, and for right now it does. As Miller will try to fling it down to the bottom here to take second away. As Connor now into third, he'll fling underneath the 95. As one car hits the wall at a turn 2, I believe that's Basin in the 08, and he's still trying to gather that thing up down the backstretch.
Oh man, they're still all over each other. Wow's loving what he's seeing in the mirror, but man, this 92, Connor Brandon, is on fresh rubber, and he's found himself into second place. The man on the freshest tires is now in second. In the last second,
Diallo.
Yeah, Diallo's on fresh tires as well. Now he works to the underside of LaFaro. So the only driver who really worked themselves to the field with fresh tires was Connor Brandon. And look at right behind. Look at the blocking. For the lead, though.
Yeah, Connor's got it into 1. This is a pretty easy pass, given that the fresh tires he's on. And to the lead for the first time tonight is our defending race winner here, Connor Brennan, as Carson goes way wide there out of 1. He's one of those on those older tires, so trying to hang on for a bit is that 21. Out of 2, Schmidt and Aaron Brown going at it. That's for an important point. That is 10th and 11th place between those two, as they're right behind Andy McDowell and Nick Miller. And the 95 also dropping through this field, also on older tires like his teammate in the 21.
Sarah washes up the racetrack. Again, he's on older tires as well, as he drops into 5th spot. Was gunning for the lead, but unfortunately couldn't have a charge on in. And he drops nearly outside this top 5. Oh my goodness, Parker White just about got into Bracero off the corner. Parker too, he's another guy on fresher tires, but Weil seems as though, I mean, he hasn't lost too much ground staying out, but he was the leader after all. And here comes Diallo, he's just right all over him. We're gonna have the fight here. Well, I mean, not really a fight. I mean, Omar is obviously gonna take that second spot.
And Hunter follows. Weil drops 2 more into 4th, and I think that was to be expected that he was going to end up dropping those spots after staying out, but we'll see if he can keep himself up in 4th, as he'll probably get passed here soon by Parker White. So I think Weil and the other guys that stayed out are probably going to need a caution soon to get themselves reset, because again, you know, Weil is not safe. I mean, he came into tonight's second points, but only up by 3 points on the cut line, so even though he's been up there all night, still not guaranteed a spot in the Final Four next week.
That's right, and that just questions why the strategy on staying out. You know, I mean, how many playoff drivers hit pit road off of that exchange, and now he's starting to be passed now by another one, of William Schmidt, who works himself downstairs. And there's the 11 of Aaron Brown on the scene. He's going to work around this 41 a while as well. And not only that, while there's still drivers on fresh tires right behind him. Garrett Hess has yet to work through this field. Cole Williams, Malachi Drake, Harrison Chandler, who are just outside of this mix as well, as you see Corey Long get a bit sideways off of 2. But man, you could easily pass this 41 a while, who's now in 8th spot. So all these drivers who are on fresh tires have finally shuffled themselves up to the front. And with that exchange with Connor Brandon being the first driver out of those off of pit road first, and to shuffle himself through the field, Connor has pulled his way by 2 seconds. Look at the gap between himself and Diallo.
Yeah, that didn't take long at all, and because Diallo and Johnson had to take an extra lap or 2 to try to get around Weil, that allowed Connor to pull away fairly easily, as Weil is now back in 8th place, along with Bracero and LaFaro, who also stayed out. So we'll see if Connor can keep this lead, but I think that draft that the 77 and the 12 are currently having right now are probably going to help them reel them in.
Weil is the 5th playoff driver right now in line. He's going to follow maybe a position to Bracero or Miller, but Miller, I mean, with Hess on fresh tires right now, Hess works himself to the bottom side of Miller for this spot. I mean, that's LaFaro, excuse me. Next one up is going to be Miller. I see right behind Harrison Chandler. He's on fresh tires as well. He'll work to the bottom side of Poindexter for this spot. And Cole Williams, who didn't get a good restart, is now slowly plucking off the drivers on old tires.
Yeah, and Cole missed out on the Final Four in trucks by a single point last night. So you know that 42 is not going to want to get eliminated twice in the same weekend. So he's going to definitely do all he can here to try to get himself onward in this Final Four next week, as he makes a move here on fellow chaser Carson Poindexter down the backstretch. And with Carson on older tires, this should be an easy pass to make. Indeed he will. That is.
Yeah, so Cole Williams in front of Poindexter now, as Malachi Drake approaches the scene too. Malachi, not one of our 7 playoff drivers. He got eliminated just last round during the round of 10, so still plenty of time to go. The gap between Connor and Diallo is now 1.9 rather than 2 seconds, but Hunter's not letting go of Diallo.
Well, I think the 12 and the 77 are going to have to work together here to try to get by that 92, or at least get to the 92, with them both being over 2 seconds back. They're close enough to be in each other's draft, but the more they battle, the more that 92 is just going to pull right away. As here comes Hess trying to get into this top 10 for the first time tonight, battling with Nick Miller here into turn 4. 95 will hold on to it for right now, but I think those fresh tires will probably start to make a difference here soon, perhaps into this next turn.
Yeah, I mean, Hess still have yet to find himself around that number 95 of Miller, and Hess is just pushing the issue too much into the corner. He needs to back up the entry to get around this number 95, and it's frustrating for Hess because he knows he's on fresher tires but can't find a way around this number 95, and these two have a bit of history with each other, and now Hess finally gets a run off the corner. But still can't pin it down to the bottom, so Also got a little battling right behind. Poindexter, away from Bachman, as well as Malachi Drake in this mix as well, so... Tell you what, the lead for Connor is slowly starting to dwindle. And look at that, Hunter Johnson has worked himself into that second place.
Yeah, I think that draft might be starting to work now as Hunter's gotten a couple tenths off, but still finds himself almost 2 seconds back. So it might be a little bit longer before he can get himself to our race leaders. We're almost at the halfway point here tonight, 38 out of 80 in the books so far. As Hess still has not managed to get by that 95. Miller's did a great job of fending off that 91. As there's Cole Williams making his way through turn 2. There's Carson and David Bachman. They go at it here for, I believe, 15th place. So the field's gotten pretty spread out here since the restart. And those fresher tires definitely did work out. As Wild, the highest running driver on those older tires, currently in P8.
And let's say, I mean, just for an example, I mean, pull up the stint right now. What if Wild hits the end of his fuel mark and has to come in around, I'd say, 50-ish or 60-ish, I'm pretty sure everybody else is going to follow in that first driver onto pit road. So we're going to see probably a split strategy. We're going to see two kind of strategies off of this green flag run. We're either going to see, A, drivers split the run halfway from this point, from the time they've been out on the racetrack, which is 12 laps, so... Gonna pull up the race summary panel. So 42 laps to go. So they're gonna have to split it around, I'd say 30-ish to go, if they want to make it by splitting it halfway. But if they want to stretch it all the way for a while, it's gonna be, I'd say, 24-ish. Gonna be around 22-ish to go is when he could stretch it. Is how long he could stretch it for. But for the other drivers, they could hit pit road, I'd say, with around 10 to go. So, and not only that, for the drivers who can come in, who can stretch it all the way to 10 laps to go, they're going to be able to be on the same strategy as the rest of the guys. So let's say Aaron Brown, for example, if he sees Wall on pit road, he too could switch up his strategy and fling it on a pit road late to opt with a longer run. We'll just have to see.
Yeah, I think strategy is definitely going to play a role here into who ends up on top tonight. As Johnson has got another couple tenths off of that 92's lead, now down to about 1.2 seconds, and I think Connor may have gotten a bit squirrely there out of 4. And you can see that 12 and the 77 are definitely starting to close that gap on our race lead. That was upwards of over 2 seconds, now just about a second. So we could see a battle for the lead here shortly, as Brandon tries to go back-to-back here at Indy in the Cup Series.
Yeah, Connor has a bit of right front damage off of maybe tagging the wall off of turn number 4, but, I mean, to get passed by your teammate isn't too much. I mean, you know, 12 and 92 are both teammates, so they're going to be probably working the same strategy for right now to get themselves a nice finish off tonight. And not only that, there's a bit of an incentive to win here tonight, $10 on the line.
You know, a little added bonus, I guess, for showing up in the race here for tonight. Battle here, Garrett Hess, Harrison Chandler. I believe this is for 11th. So I think Hess might have used up his tires trying to get around the 95, and in the process, looks like he might drop a spot here to the 22. So Miller did a phenomenal job of holding off that 91. I think Garrett burned out his tires, and indeed will drop that spot now to Chandler. As we'll see, there's Andy McDowell, as there's Brazzero in 9th. Weil has got himself nicely here into 8th, so he dropped those spots off the restart after staying out. But for right now, I mean, if Connor gets passed by Diallo, not Hunter, but Diallo, I think Weil could potentially get the most laps led point, which he's definitely in play for us right now. Connor at 11. Chris has 22 at the moment. Hunter with 4. And Diallo yet to lead any. So Chris has led the most laps tonight so far. But can the lead change enough by the end where he can keep that point and get another bonus point tonight?
Hunter's crawled up to the backside of this number 92, so we're going to have a fight for the lead here momentarily between two unsponsored machines. Schmidt runs in 6th spot for right now, ahead of Weil, who's in 8th, but Aaron Brown, he too is in 7th spot, so these drivers having a phenomenal run of what they need and to get themselves set up for this Final Four coming next week. So I think the points battle is going to be really, really close for right now. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see on how it'll all turn out as Connor is still sideways off the corner. He's losing some time to Hunter, and we might have a battle for the lead here momentarily.
Yeah, the difference the difference last night between making it in and missing it was a point. So as Connor gets loose again out of turn 2, and there's Hunter, he is there for the lead. But yeah, you just mentioned those points again. It was only a point last night. It could be a point again tonight, and Connor's really loose out of turn 2 this time. That car has become a handful for him as Johnson will retake the race lead away. Connor's trying to hold on, but you can tell that car has gotten extremely loose now on this longer run, and I don't think Diallo will be too far behind that 92 and trying to get that 2nd spot away.
So, yeah, we're past halfway now. Still like 40-ish. I mean, a lot of laps to go. I mean, 37 laps to go this time by, so top 3 still relatively close with each other, less than a second to separate this top 3. It's Hunter, Connor, and Diallo for right now. Parker White, who's sort of on an island of his own. I have to scroll back to Andy. In 5th, there's Schmidt, one of our playoff contenders. He runs in 6th as of right now. And that is the 2nd playoff driver we're going to be our eyes on. And Aaron Brown's going to be 7th. And Christopher Weil in 8th. So, I mean, Aaron stayed out one lap to lead a couple of them. And he has an extra bonus point rather than Schmidt, who has yet to lead a lap. So basically, depending on how the points look, total amount of points they were to be scored right now, they'd be tied for technically 6th spot. And you saw there, Hunter was real sideways off of 2. I mean, off of 4, and kept it straight. But we got a car on pit road. That looks like to be the 90 of Malachi Drake. He goes on in. Corey Long, he too goes on in. Is this an early sign of pit stops? Not sure. I think it's way too early.
But yeah, they can't make it to the end. I mean, well, actually, I think the window was 27 to 32, and if that's accurate, it's 34 or 35 to 40. So I think Corey might be able to make it from here. So that is certainly an interesting call to make here. But he'll be on much older tires by the end of this run, whereas these guys that are going to stay out a bit longer are going to have fresher tires. So I don't know if this is going to work out for Corey, but an interesting strategy nonetheless.
Yeah, so, yeah. I find it interesting why they're hitting pit road. I mean, I guess they could catch a caution, but they are 1 lap down, unfortunately. I think you'll have to be around 15 seconds to the leader if you don't want to go 1 lap down to hit pit road. So same situation like Pocono, in which the track is long enough in which you won't go 1 lap down to the leader as long as you're within a certain distance amount of him. You see Aaron Brown, oh man, just about tagged the outside wall, and you see the difference between Malachi and Aaron right there. Fresh tires, just playing to advantage, and who knows, that might be an eye-opener for all these drivers out in the racetrack who might be watching those drivers who just hit pit road and saying, oh man, potential short pit strategy? Who knows?
Yeah, I just don't know. Again, the tires are going to be a whole lot older on guys like Corey than people that stay out longer, so I don't know how feasible it is for them to stay out this long. I mean, Corey will gain spots right now, or he'll gain on-track spots even though he's a lap down. He'll gain track time, but he'll probably lose it once the guys in front of him end up hitting again. So I don't know how this is going to work out for him, but we shall see.
Omar has finally found himself around the 92 of Connor.
Yeah, they're both over 2 seconds behind Hunter now, though. It took Diallo a lot longer to get around the 92 than it did the 12, and therein is your difference, as Hunter was able to pull away. And we have a battle here between cars on older tires. Michael Rosero, Luca Faro, and Cole Williams all going at it here out of turn 4. And they might take it 3, as looks like Carson Poindexter has hit pit road. He was one of those that stayed out on the previous restart. And then we'll see if Cole can get this spot here into 1. That is close.
Whoa, man, he washed up, just about got into Rosero. They're still close as Rosero is trying to pinch down the 42. He's running very tight off the corner.
Wow.
My goodness, I still can't believe they haven't made contact yet, but they gotta be careful.
Yeah, they're cutting it close there. That could have been a big wreck, but thankfully for them it was not. But there's been quite a few close calls here over these last couple laps.
There are 4 drivers nose to tail: Williams, Rosero, LaFaro, and Hess. And Cole on the fresher tires out of these 4. I mean, Hess is on the same set, but track position wise, it's not working out to him. Man.
Big struggle there for Aaron Brown. Or Skrilly, rather. These 3 still going at it, with Garrett Hess now in the picture as well. Hess was up to 11th, but has now faded back a bit to 14th.
Whoa.
Yeah, see how... Whoa, Rosero, I think, got the wall. And he'll drop a couple spots here. He, like Carson, stayed out on that previous restart. So starting to fade a bit more. Weil, who also did, as Diallo hits pit road from 2nd. So we'll see if this ends up dragging some more people down pit road. Now that we've seen one of our front runners decide to hit pit road with 30 laps to go, when will these other guys say, hey, that 77's on pit road, I should probably be there pretty soon? And indeed, Christopher Weil and Nick Miller also on pit lane now.
Yeah, and these, for a while, he had to hit pit road sometime. And for Omar, though, to hit pit road now, I mean, gonna leave him with 30 laps left. He had the option to stay out all the way, but decided not to take it. So he's gonna opt with a different strategy rather than taking on with a longer run. I'm not really sure about that. Maybe he's trying to make up the deficit of battling it out with Connor Brandon. But maybe Hunter might hit pit road to cancel that out. So here comes Hunter now on the pit road. Whoa!
And Connor's going to follow him down. And Parker White will stay out and will pick up the bonus point for leading a lap. So pretty much a no-brainer there for the 095. But given that everybody else is starting to come down, I would expect that the 095 will probably not be too far behind. He'll probably pit this time, as Carson on those fresher tires trying to make up lost positions.
Oh my goodness, Anovich saved it off of turn number 2. He was dead sideways, but luckily kept it straight. But yeah, this is going to be interesting to see on how everybody will shuffle. So Parker stays out, of course, the lead lap. Schmidt has the option to stay out as well to lead a lap. And here's Hunter now working himself off. Here's Omar. It's going to be close between those two.
That was a 2-second gap, but Hunter was up by 2 seconds when those pit stops started. There's Connor coming off pit road. Hunter's starting to get up to full speed on the access road. So Diallo's going to get by Connor here, I believe, but will he be able to get by the 12 as Hunter's now back up on the track? There's Diallo, and Connor actually exits in front of him, but
wow.
I think that... Wow.
Yeah, that's impressive by Connor. I mean, I'm surprised. Not only is he in front of the 77, he's on fresher tires as well, so...
What a gutsy call there, and it's going to gain Connor Brandon a spot, as that one block cost the 77 all of its momentum, as Schmidt hits pit road here from 7th.
Parker's still staying out, so if Parker, maybe he wants to stretch the fuel all the way to get himself to the end of his cycle. So maybe he's trying to keep Aaron Brown from leading a lap, or all those other drivers, but Schmidt has already hit pit road, so...
Well, Aaron's already led one, though.
Oh, that's correct.
He might be trying to prevent other chasers, though. I mean, Schmidt has yet to lead one.
I think all of our chasers have hit pit road, as Omar has a issue.
Yeah, he's down to 9th. I don't know what just happened to him.
Yeah, we got a replay.
There he is. Or no.
Oh, yeah, I mean... Oh, just disappeared. I'm not sure if he fell through.
Either he fell through or alt F4, but I don't know why he'd alt F4 down the backstretch. So that was probably...
Yeah, I'm not really sure about that, so...
Huh.
So Omar falls out. That probably will hand Hunter Johnson this lead, definitely, once this does cycle through. But the top six all stayed themselves out.
Yeah, White, McDowell, Brown, Hess, Drake, and Bachman all yet to pit. And just to say that, there's McDowell pitting from second. That'll put the 11 into P2 for right now. So an unfortunate break there for Omar Diallo is going to take a great car out of contention. See, he'd started himself in 20th and was up to 3rd. But unfortunately will end up finishing deeper in the field. As there's the 20 making his pit stop. More than likely the final one of the night. And another car has hit pit road behind him. See who that is. Currently obscured by the ticker.
That will be... I'm not sure.
Who that is.
That's Casey Drake. So... Here comes Parker.
And don't overcook it. Looks like he's got it slowed down in time. 60 miles per hour. The pit road speed here at Indy. And he'll get it down. And there's Aaron Brown. He's going to stay out a bit. And even though he's already gotten the bonus point for leading lap, he'll stay out again anyway. And will pick up at least one more lap led.
He has the option to stay another 10-ish laps out on the racetrack. So the gap between himself and Hunter is 16 seconds. So he'll lead all the laps prior to hitting pit road. So who knows? He might catch a caution, and if Hunter's tires are worn off enough, he might have to head himself down the pit road. So he does have 10 laps to tinker around with as Connor works around David Bachman.
It's a bold strategy because if he stays out if it goes green all the way and he stays out too long, he'll lose too much track position to Hunter, and then by the time he goes to hit pit road, he'll end up being behind like 15 or 20 seconds. So it's a big gamble to do this, where if he catches a caution, maybe around lap 65 and everyone decides to pit again, it could work out beautifully. But if it goes green all the way and he ends up staying out too long, it might end up costing him too many spots. Risky gamble.
Yeah, so, I mean, who knows? It may work. He could definitely catch a caution within these next 8 laps. Or 5 laps, I'd say. But, I mean, the gap is already now down to 12 seconds. It was 16 prior. So, he is not going to be able to pass him for the lead on the racetrack, but rather on pit road. So, Aaron trying to catch a caution, and hopefully it plays to his advantage, as Casey Drake is going to go ahead and push him down the straightaway.
And Casey will unlap himself here in a moment. Oh! And there, those older tires starting to play in to effect, so he's only about 11 seconds ahead on Hunter. I think that 11's going to want to maybe hit pit road this time or next time.
I mean, the 87 is that 11's teammate. He maybe just try to push him forward just to help that gap not decrease so much. And try to get him out front as much as you can before Hunter passes you. Just have to see.
Gap's down to 8.7. Hunter is gaining fast. I think that 11 is definitely going to want to hit pit road probably this time.
Yeah, I think when Aaron wants to hit pit road as soon as Hunter passes him, but he still has some laps to tinker around with, so.
Not many.
Not many.
Hunter is gaining really, really fast. Like, he picked up around 2.5, almost 3 seconds on just that last lap alone, so
Yeah,
I think
mean,
at this point, the inevitable was being delayed, where 12 is going to get this race late. It's just, will it be this time or will it be next time or the time after that? But I think the 11 is going to definitely want to hit pit road probably this time. I mean, we'll see where he ends up cycling out, but he's going to stay out again. And you see that gap now down to 6.7, so another 2 seconds chopped off by Hunter.
yeah, I mean,
So
look at the lap times as well. It's
yeah, 55.3 was Aaron Brown's last lap, and a 52.7 was Hunter's last lap. So almost a 3-second difference between their 2 lap times. And you see now it's down to 5.6, so that 12 is catching up to that 11 extremely fast.
Bachman holding up Weil, and right behind him it's McDowell with the fresher tires versus Weil. Bachman works up high. Bachman, he too is another driver who is out on old tires, so he's just trying to stretch it as much as he can. Maybe catch a caution or something like that, but here comes Aaron, finally down on the pit road. There goes Hunter. So Aaron does not catch the caution that he needed to.
That looked a bit fast to me. Hopefully he didn't just speed, but he was definitely trying to lock him down while coming in. Hopefully he didn't just speed, because that'd be devastating for his Final Four hopes, but it looked like it might have been a bit too fast. But and he overshoots his pit stall. That's going to cost him some time as well.
Bachman too follows pursuit on pit road. And there was no pit road penalties off of that exchange, by the way.
Yeah, overshooting its pit stall definitely did cost him about 2 seconds, though, and that 2 seconds could be the difference as Johnson back to the lead, and look at the gap between him and Connor Brennan. 4 seconds separating those two, so Hunter definitely about doubled his lead there before these pit stops started. And Weil's in third, but he's almost 16 seconds back. So the pit stops definitely through this, I don't know, or through a wrench in it, definitely, with how spread out this field is now. And Aaron's not even going to be in the top 10 by the time his pit stop's over. Looks like 14th right now. And I don't know if that's going to be enough to get in as of right now.
So the way points run as of right now, Weil is in, running in third. He's going to fall a position to Parker White, maybe shortly, because these drivers right behind are on fresher tires. Parker's going to go under Andy for this spot. Maybe a buffer there for the 41 as they duke it out for that position. You got William Schmidt in 6th position, and this is huge for him. And after that, it's Nick Miller in the 95, then Cole Williams in the 42. So the drivers who are looking probably outside of it right now is Poindexter, Aaron Brown, and I'm missing a driver off the top of my head. Poindexter, Aaron Brown, and hold up, let's just shuffle through it. So it's Christopher Weil right now.
Weil and Schmidt came into tonight tied, so that's a 3-point gap right now. Parker, of course, came in up by 15 over everybody else. He is pretty much in for all intents and purposes.
After Schmidt.
Cole and Aaron came in tied for 4th, and then Carson was 1 behind them, and Nick 3 behind them.
So
Cole is 2 ahead of Carson and 1 behind Nick. So I think that the 42 is also in as of right now. And the 21 and the 95, along with the 11, are all out right now. I mean, still 17 to go. Still plenty of time for things to change, but as Weil has dropped 2 spots now to 5th. As
Sertaj Mod
and Hunter Rupp, they've been... I think these two were on track for the first time all night.
Yeah, that's right.
They didn't start the race. They both just came on track. So they're both 63 laps down here. Not enough laps for either of them to gain spots. Well, actually, they're both going to gain a spot on Kyle to win. But interesting that they're just now getting on track. But of course, they have the freshest tires out of anybody. But again, You know, this is literally the first lap they run all race.
So lots of time to go. Man, Weil has fallen all the way to 5th spot. And you see Schmidt there in the number 79. Might have a battle here for 7th spot. Cole Williams is trying to fend out Miller.
That's a point there.
I mean, Miller's trying to fend out Cole.
Yeah, that 95 is probably going to block the crap out of the 42. I mean, even, again, Nick is still out right now, but I think he's still on older tires. I don't know if he's actually pit yet, but I think, oh no, he did. But he pit earlier like Weil did, so comparatively speaking, he's still on new-ish tires, but his tires are worn compared to everybody else's, so I think the 42 should be able to get that pass done in the next couple laps.
And this is the closest battle we have on the racetrack as of right now. The next closest battle is for 4th spot, which is slowly growing because Weil is on older tires. So all eyes right now with Miller and Cole. And Cole was tied with Aaron Brown coming in here for tonight. With Aaron Brown running in 13th spot, that is definitely not going to play evident for him. And
that strategy didn't work out. Got by Corey on track, but running 13th is not going to do it here. And Carson running in 11th, that's not going to be enough for him right now either. But again, there's still 15 to go. There is still plenty of time for everything to be turned on its head. So, you know, it is not over till that last car crosses the finish line. But as of right now, not looking very good for the 11 and 21. Though he does make a pass here on Rosero for 12th.
Yeah, and Aaron is on way fresher tires than everybody else, so I think that gap is doable between himself and Poindexter, but maybe to LaFaro, so still 14 laps to go. And now that I mention
only
it,
1 or 2 spots though, and I don't know if that's gonna be enough.
Now that I think of it, the drivers who short pit, Corey Long, are not going to be able, probably not going to be able to make it to the end. They're going to be close, because it is like a 35-ish fuel mark. But
Gonna have to save.
Corey is going to have to save, definitely. And Poindexter, he's on his 18th lap out in the racetrack. It's...
I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, and there's 13 laps to go right now. We'll have to see.
His tires will be super worn, though. So here's Hunter. His gap now up to 6.5 seconds on Connor, so that gap's continuing to increase between himself and that 92. We'll see how many laps led Hunter has now, because it was 4 earlier. We'll see how many laps it is now. 19. So he's only 3 behind Chris now, and he's about to be 2. And that is a bonus point that the 41 might lose here. Again, there's a bonus point for leading the most laps, and right now the 41 has it. But Hunter is about to lead his 20th lap, and with how far ahead he is as Casey hits pit road, I think that 41 is about to lose that bonus point there. So we'll see how much of a difference that makes, but you never know. It could throw a wrench into this.
Yeah, who knows? So here's, in terms of stint-wise, man on the freshest tires is Andy McDowell as of right now. No, is Parker White, excuse me, inside this top 5. So Parker trying to close the gap between himself and Connor and Hunter, but I mean, that gap is just so huge. And after that, it's a ways back to these drivers right behind. Schmidt was somehow escaped with a great night. He might be one of our final 4 contenders, so that'll make Christopher and Schmidt 2 drivers who've made Final 4s in both the Truck and Cup Series.
Got 2 chasers right behind him, though, Miller and Cole Williams, so that could be a key battle here over these next couple laps. We've got these 3 chasers now running in order. Can these 2 catch William, though, and make it an interesting battle here? Because, you know, it could end up being a deal where even 1 point can make the difference. So this could be the most important battle of the season, perhaps, coming up in a couple laps.
Yep, that's right. So William came in here with 7,022. Cole came in with 7,019. I'm not sure who has led the most amount. I mean, who's led laps and who hasn't. Pull that up.
Nor has not. Cole has not.
None of these
All
drivers
three of
have.
these guys haven't. I think William, Parker, and Aaron Brown are not William. I think Chris, Parker, and Aaron are the only three that have.
Yep, that's
'Cause
right.
Carson hasn't either. So 3 of the 7 have led laps. But again, with Hunter still out front, Chris is going to lose this bonus point now for the most laps led, 2 to 12. And Chris came into tonight's race tied with William.
And with
who
William
only
running
one
in...
spot behind him.
Yeah, so... William is probably going to get in because he came in here running 3rd in points. Cole, on the other hand, he had to watch out for Aaron Brown, who's running in 12th spot. Oh man, that's actually close between those two as Poindexter gets sideways. Oh, they make contact!
No! And oh my goodness, did he? Wow.
Oh, I think Aaron's unhappy about Carson. He might send him in the 3.
I mean, I can't blame Carson though. I mean, they're both out right now, but if something happens to the guys in front of them, that's a valuable chase point on the line. But yeah, no, I don't blame Carson for blocking it.
There he goes!
And Carson saves it.
Oh, they're
both
unhappy
save
about
it.
each other right now.
Oh yeah, they are not pleased. Carson's gonna block Aaron as much as he can, and these two are gonna end up wrecking each other at some point.
Oh no, that might be your caution right there.
This has wreck written all over it because Aaron clearly has fresher tires than Carson does, and I think the 21's gonna get himself turned here pretty soon because he is doing everything he can to keep that 11 at bay, and the 11 is not going to take this very long because the 11 wants to get in front of him and gain as many spots as possible, and the 21 is making that darn near impossible right now. So it would not shock me at all if we cut to another battle and we come back and one of these two is junked.
Aaron's going to try
Here
to
we
send
go.
on the inside.
Whoa!
Oh, he hit him again! Oh, and Poindexter goes around! Oh my gosh!
Yeah, that was inevitable. See also Jimmy Spencer and Kurt Busch in 2002 in that very corner. That had wreck written all over it, and Aaron Brown has signed, sealed, and delivered the caution here as him and Carson Poindexter get together once again and put us in a position where we're going to have, looks like about a 4 or 3 to go restart.
Oh my gosh, this is disaster. I mean, they were fated to dump each other as soon as that contact was made. Aaron had way fresher tires, but Poindexter kept blocking, he kept blocking, and finally Aaron had enough, and you knew Aaron was pissed about that, and Aaron just sent it on Poindexter, and
oh boy.
it sucks. It had to come down to that. And with this
All right,
caution,
well,
not only that, it resets things.
Yes, because now we're going to see a situation where this is probably going to be, again, either a 3 or 4 to go restart. I think everybody still has at least one tire set left. But are we going to see a gamble towards the back where maybe somebody decides to stay out that's in this chase and try to maybe... I mean, I don't know if you can hold off at Indy for 3 laps on older tires, but maybe even gain a couple spots. I think we're going to see somebody stay out here.
Oh, no.
But I just don't know who. I think someone's going to try it.
It might be Aaron Brown, because he's on the freshest tires right now. I mean, out of everybody. He's on 13-lap fresh tires, so...
Well, who's going to get an EOL for that penalty, though? If Aaron gets a penalty for that, then it's not going to make a difference.
That's right. I mean, in my opinion, Aaron has to stay out. Oh, he's going to come on the pit road. I think he does know he has a penalty now, so... Everybody scoots themselves on in.
Yeah, Aaron's in a tough spot now, but... I don't really know if you can pin that on Aaron, though. I mean, Carson was...
Poindexter, yeah, that's the thing. Poindexter was blocking like hell.
I mean... Carson had to do what he had to do. Aaron had to do what he had to do. And inevitably, the two of them doing that was going to cause him to wreck. So, going to be honest, I don't really know if you can really pin that on one of them, but Carson definitely blocked a whole lot there on the backstretch, and that 11 definitely not happy, I'm sure. And we'll see who wins the race off pit road. Will anybody take 2 here?
No,
Hunter's
I think
first
they're just
block.
so deep into the run, in which you can't take 2, as Weil is going to fall into 4th. And man, this is
Actually,
giving me a
Weil
bit of
picked up-
PTSD of how last season went. We had a late race caution,
picked
which
up a
reset
spot.
some things.
41 actually gained a spot there on Andy McDowell in the 20.
Oh no,
As
man.
AJ Bain on his 2,955th second on pit road. An extended stay for sure there for the 8. So I don't think anyone actually stayed out unless the ticker still needs to refresh itself. I think the people in front of these guys may have all been lapped down. Those might be wave around cars.
Right, these are all wave around cars right in front, so we might see. No, yeah, these are wave around cars. These are this is Sertage and Hunter out in the
Yeah,
racetrack.
they're both
so.
63 laps down. Garrett and Malachi are a lap down each. So Hunter, Connor, Parker, Chris, Aaron, and Nick are your top 6. Chandler, Aaron Brown, LaFaro, and Williams. But again, there could be a penalty perhaps to the 11. I don't know if he's going to get it or if it's going to be Carson, but
I mean,
I think one of them is going to receive something.
yeah, one of them has to receive something. I mean, for Carson, he was blocking like no tomorrow. I mean, those blocks seemed a bit excessive, in my
And you
opinion.
see the rear end is gone
Yeah,
now.
his rear end is gone, and for the 11 though of Aaron Brown, he wasn't taking it. He dumped. You know that 11 dumped the 21.
Like to back on the
For a
pace, but
reason.
We're
I
not
mean,
going green this
Yeah,
time.
I mean,
We are
you
not
could also
going green.
argue that the 21 flat out deserved
Another-
it for the way he was blocking. I mean,
Yeah, I
again,
mean-
there are definitely both sides to that, but 1 to go here, so we'll have a 4 to go restart.
And we
12 to
do have
92.
a lap added. I think not a lot of the field has yet to catch up. Yeah, there's still a lot of
Okay,
drivers
so
to catch up right now, so that will have
So
a 3 to go
3 to go.
restart.
So if we wreck before the white, of course, it'll be a green-white checkered.
And Schmidt falls to freaking 11th. Oh no.
He was in 6th, though. That's 4 points he just dropped.
Yeah, and
And this
Cole
is
is-
wide open now. He's
Yeah.
behind Aaron now, too.
but Cole sits in 13th right now, so I think all benefits for Miller. He loves what he's seeing right now. He's sitting in 6th spot where William was.
I think that 95 might be in right now.
I'm not sure. I mean, he might be in. It's a very
He came
small
in-
margin.
Let's see. He came into tonight 3 because Aaron and Cole were tied, and Nick came in 3 behind them. So he's 3 above Aaron and I believe 7 or 8 above Cole. I think Nick is currently in as they run right now.
Yeah, but
Well,
not by
neither.
much. It's not by much, though. It's not by much. So... Oh my goodness. See the rest of the drivers right behind, just gonna catch up. Sertage and Hunter are gonna hit pit road one more time. You see Cole all the way back there, so... Cole's gonna hit pit road. Not sure why. But
I think he's
man.
already back there. I mean, he might as well have the freshest tires possible. He's not going to lose any more spots.
But man, in terms of this, so
Yeah.
for Schmidt, everything that whole entire caution just destroyed him. He had that
Yeah,
race in
that's-
6th, and he would have came out here as one of your final 4 contenders. But now he did not have a good pit stop. I mean, for Schmidt,
Well, Chris isn't
he had
either.
a 38-second pit stop, so he probably took on optional. I'm not sure why, but regardless, he did.
41 isn't in yet either. I mean, he was
think-
tied with William coming into tonight.
But he's running in 4th though, so I think Weil is good for right now, but he needs to get a good restart. And with these 2 drivers, non-playoff drivers right in front of him, they're going to do all they can to get this win. And Weil doesn't want to really, I mean, I guess a $10 incentive, but don't want to really screw around with that. Parker, you know he's in. So the most these drivers are going to lose points-wise is 17 points if they do somehow get wrecked. So Here we
Yeah,
go.
The worst they can finish is, I believe, 18th right now, with Casey Drake sitting. Yeah, 18th is the worst they can finish. Cole is 17th right now. That 42 definitely is outside right now. The 42 and the 21, they're out. And I think the 79 might be out right now as they run.
So, yeah, it's...
Oh, no, Williams in
Poindexter. No, because Poindexter is behind Schmidt, so...
Williams in right now.
Yeah, so Williams in right now.
Came in tonight 3 up on Aaron, so he's in by 1 right now, I think. But here we go, 3 to go. Who is going to make it in, and who's going to come up just short?
Green flag. Connor looks like it's not going to have the space to come down on Parker White, so they're going to be side by side for a second, and that's all Hunter needs to see in his mirror. Work themselves into 1 as Weil is trying to push the 92 of Connor as much as he can. Connor trying to pinch down the 095 off of 2.
Andy has a run on Chris on the bottom.
Connor's probably going to be able to slot himself. Oh, Andy loose on the bottom.
Oh, that was a big moment there for Chris. That was the last thing he wanted to see. And look at the blocking there down the back stretch as Chris is trying to hold off Andy, as him and Miller both have a run on the bottom now. And Chris will try to take third away. So they're 3 wide into 3. Williams up high.
Oh, no!
79's hard on the wall. He goes around the 54. Corey Long gets involved in a huge hit for William Schmidt. And that is going to most likely end his Final Four hopes, as he was in before the last caution. And now that car is destroyed.
Oh my gosh, they were 3 wide heading into 3. There was a lot of contact made with Rosero and LaFaro. And the 79 was just at a wrong place at the wrong time.
And it's tough for LaFaro, too. He had a phenomenal run going tonight. Top 10 all night, and he's junk as well. And we're going to get a look here and see what happened. But they were 3 wide into 3. Rosero, LaFaro, and Schmidt. And being 3 wide on the top is never a place you want to be. I think Rosero might have washed up a bit into the 54. And he gets pinballed into Schmidt, who gets into the wall once. And then 79 spins down, and a big hit there between him and Corey Long. There's Cole making his way through the middle of that. And man, his front end is gone. And I'm sure his chase hopes are as well.
Yeah, Rosero just overshot turn 3. He blew the corner, and
nothing Corey could do either. He went down to miss it, and the 79 just flew down right into him.
Yeah, Rosero blew the corner, and LaFaro, and there was just no room for 3 wide off the corner, and Rosero eventually washed up into the 54. A bit of netcode set that out, and LaFaro eventually got sideways, and Schmidt was there, and now this gives Cole Williams a bit of hope, I guess.
Well, I think the 79 is pretty much done. I mean, the only way I can see him still getting in is if he can limp this thing around on the lead lap for the next 2 laps. And there's another wreck after this that involves chasers. But beyond that, I don't know. It's going to take an absolute miracle and a half at this point for the 79 to get in, because he's now going to drop all the way to 17th, last car on track. And with his front end gone, that is going to be a lengthy repair job as well.
That's a shame. I mean, Schmidt was literally in 6th. He had that race won before the caution came out. I mean, even though he wasn't going to win, he had that race ticketed to the Final Four. And he was going to... I mean, shoot. That pains me. That pains my heart to see a playoff hope crush like that. No fault of his own. Just wrong place, wrong time. And caught up in somebody else's mess. That hurts. And it's not in the fault of, like, Rosero and LaFaro either. I mean, they're racing for position, trying to get the best of what they can off of this caution.
LaFaro had such a good night, too. Started himself in 10th, ran there all night. One of the best runs he's had here, and unfortunately, he's got a lot of damage now as well. So it's a tough break for all of them, but, of course, never the way you want to have a guy end up eliminated from the chase. That is one of the worst ways that you can end up out of the chase. But Carson now, he's back up into the top 10, and he's ahead of the 42. He's not in right now, but he came into tonight only a point behind Cole. So Carson, as they run right now, is ahead of the 42, but I think both of them are out now with Aaron Brown still in. It's gonna be so close by the time this is over.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, in terms of how this will all turn out, so Parker White is in, Weil is in, Miller, it's close. It's going to be close for Miller, though. Like, it's crazy close for Miller. He can't lose positions off this restart. If he does, all doors are open for that 21 and 11 to get those positions. And Miller, I mean, it's only one position back to the 11th, so I think Miller's out as of right now.
God, it is so close.
Yeah, and it's hard to calculate this as well with, like...
Yeah, I think as they run right now, it's the 095, 41, 95, and 11.
I think it's the other way. I think it's 095, 41, 11, then 21.
Carson came in 2 up on Nick. So that means Nick
Oh,
is
yeah,
up
that's
by,
right. That means Nick is in, so...
Yeah, Nick is in by a single point right now, and Carson came in 1 behind Aaron, so he's out by 2 points right now. Or he's out by 1. So if he gets by Harrison Chandler and everything else stays the same, we're going to have a dead tie. So it is going to come down to these last 2 laps, and with everybody still so close, I mean, Cole is sitting in 11th. It's not over for him yet either. I think the only one it's over for is William Schmidt, unless another wreck happens that takes like all of these guys out. But here we go. Johnson, White, Brandon, Weil, and McDowell, your top 5 for the restart. Miller, Brown, Chandler, Poindexter, and Bachman, the rest of your top 10. And it all comes down to this. The last 2 laps of the race.
Wow, what a push there for the 92. Connor, he pushed the 12 up front. So Parker's going to lose a spot in exchange.
Aaron and Carson again.
Uh-oh, we've seen this before.
Yeah, those two, we saw the contact on the previous caution. Those two are going to remember that. Will we see it again?
Oh, definitely.
Aaron pushes Carson up
Oh,
the track.
Carson dumps Aaron.
Around. And Cole is around as well. And that is the wreck that William Schmidt needed to see.
Oh, my.
Carson,
Oh,
Aaron,
no.
and Cole all end up involved in this.
Oh, that might have sealed her.
Man.
That might have sealed the chase hopes right there, and
Wow.
you know that was gonna happen after what Aaron or Poindexter did to Aaron and Aaron did to Poindexter that previous one. But
what happened this time?
Poindexter,
they were blocking before they even got to the start-finish line, so we'll see what happened here. Contact between the two of them once again. Carson hits the wall. Carson comes down into clipping the 11. I think Cole saved. Oh my God, he did.
yeah, Cole
How
saved
did
it
Cole hold
off.
on to that? Look at this. He is dead sideways. How did he hold on to that car?
What a wheel man!
That might have saved him right there. That one little save might have just gotten him in, and you see all the damage
my
now
gosh.
that the 11 and the 21 have. And I think this might put Schmidt back in, but it's going to be so razor thin.
Yeah, I mean Schmidt sits 13th as of right now, or yeah, he sits
And
13th. So,
Oh, man.
oh my gosh.
And Aaron and Carson, for the second time in the last 12, 13 laps, tangle with each other and bring out a caution that's going to alter their seasons. I mean, man, it does not get more suspenseful than this. But I think Aaron, I believe, got the worst of that compared to Carson.
Oh my God.
And I think at this point, as Schmidt's probably going to come in and get some more optional.
Oh, pit road's closed. I don't think Poindexter realizes that. That's why he passed him. No, no. I think you see the red lights are flashing.
Aaron's coming in too.
Now Schmidt flings it on a pit road. I think he was waiting for those two drivers to go before him so Schmidt doesn't get like some type of penalty. But I mean, the pit road lights are flashing red. I don't think pit road's open, but I mean, regardless, they do find themselves on pit road. But oh no,
Man.
oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. So Now, I think green, white checker 3 or 2.
It's either 2 or 3. I think the first one was a regulation 3 to go.
Yeah, so it's 2 out of 3.
This is number 2.
You're correct.
So if they wreck again after this before the white is, Hunter up goes off-roading there. I believe if they wreck after this, then we'll go into 3, and if they wreck again before the white, then the field's frozen. So
that's right.
We are. Oh man! Oh man! I think this is going to end up coming down to within 1 or 2 points, just like it did last night. This is gonna. Even with all the cars that are wrecked now, this is still going to come down to the very, very end of the race.
I mean,
it is so close.
I don't know. I don't think it is, in my opinion, because in terms of Schmidt, though, Schmidt came here with 7,022, so Cole was...
Aaron is still on pit road.
Aaron's still on pit road, so...
And Aaron and Carson are coming off at the same time again.
Oh, no.
Which means those two are going to end up lining up right next to each other again. So we might see a trilogy between those two before this thing's over.
Somebody has to do something between these two.
Something's got to give there because those two are not going to stop at this point.
Yeah, that's
One
right.
to go with the line.
Boys have a limit.
Agreed. I mean, that's not the second time they've brought out a caution together, so hopefully it doesn't happen again, but I wouldn't put it past them. So Johnson will lead us to the green again. Connor second, Parker third, Andy fourth, Chris fifth, Nick sixth, I think Harrison seventh, and Bachman, Williams is ninth with that save, and Hess is 10th. And we'll see where the chasers are, the rest of them. So Poindexter 14th, Aaron Brown 15th, and Schmidt 16th. So they're all in a row back there.
Weil needed the inside line for this restart. He needed to,
But I think all three of them are out now.
Yeah, I think the three playoff drivers who are out of it are running the last three of, the last three positions, playoff driver-wise and standings, so, from this race. Just Schmidt, probably out of it. Poindexter's out of it. Aaron Brown is out of it. So, 14th through 16th.
Well, they're not even out of it, though. I mean, we're going to have a massive wreck with a whole field wrecks like all these guys do, and then they pass them all. I mean, that's the crazy part. You know that the writing is on the wall for them, probably, but, the whole field could wreck out of turn 4, and they could all get by and make the dance. There is still an infinite number of things that could happen between now and the end of this race. I mean, it is just... It ain't over till it's over. But the pace car will get itself down on the pit road, and we'll try again here for green-white checkered number 2.
Green flag.
Here we go again.
That's right. So
And
Connor looks like he didn't get a good jump. Connor's going to be able to file in front of Parker. Parker's going to have to jam with the brakes, so here comes Andy.
And Chris is right behind him as well. And we'll look further back. Aaron and Carson are still running around each other. Will they tangle again? They're still running. They're still running around each other.
Oh, here they go. Oh no!
Here we go again, boys. Oh yeah. I think they're gonna wreck again.
They're gonna wreck on the white.
Nick's gotten by Chris for 5th in the meantime. Out of 4, Hunter's still up by a car length on Connor Brandon. Will they make it to the white? Aaron has gotten by Carson now.
Oh, and for the lead!
Here comes Connor. Hunter has it at the line, but the white flag is out at Indy. Who will make it into the Final 4, and who will take home the checkered flag?
This race for the win is exciting. Connor gets loose on the low side. Oh!
Andy
into the outside wall! He's going to give up position to Nick Miller, but Wile's going to fall in pursuit, and here comes Cole. Oh, and Cole!
Between those two, Cole holds on to it. Down the backstretch, can Hunter hold on for just 2 more turns?
Connor needs to back up this corner and hopefully get a run on the front stretch. But Parker's just pressuring him too much. I don't think Connor's going to have a run anyway.
If Parker can get a good draft to Connor, I think he might be able to get there. It's going to be close.
Here we go off of 4.
Here we go. For the final time, down the front stretch here at Indy, Hunter Johnson trying to hold off Connor Brandon, and at the line, he's going to do it. Hunter Johnson takes the victory here at Indianapolis as he wrecked towards the back, and we will see who will move on to the Championship 4. We know for a fact Parker White's one of them, as well as Christopher Weil, who will join the two of them next week at Homestead.
Miller finished in 4th spot. He needed
I
those
think
points
Miller's in.
against Weil, so...
Cole got to 6th. I think he's in too. I think it's going to be Parker, Miller, Weil, and Williams. They all finished 3rd through 6th out of all that.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think it's going to be those 4 that will move on. But what a race, and what a win for Hunter Johnson. Started from the pole, led the most laps, and picks up the win here tonight. And caps off what was an amazing race here. Got a bit messy towards the end, but no shortage of excitement at all.
Yeah, it was pretty messy toward the end, but regardless, we finally finished out this one here at Indy. And for Hunter Johnson, that's his, add the total to $20 he's earned off of this week. He won the Wednesday race. And here he is now in victory lane yet again, beating Connor Brandon, who had a nice charge coming into 1. And unfortunately for Connor,
shot at him.
Yeah, just wasn't enough. Supercell teammate's gonna burn it down with a triple burnout, something new. And we got a look here after tonight's race. Hunter Johnson wins, Brandon 2nd, White finishes in 3rd. It's Miller, Weil, and Cole, all playoff drivers who might be your final 4 to transfer forward off of this one. And after that, it's McDowell, Bachman, Chandler, Rosero.
11th through 20th. Malachi Drake in 11th. Luca Faro ends up 12th. Aaron Brown 13th, and I don't think that's going to be enough for him to get in. Garrett Hess 14th. Poindexter and Schmidt, I believe those two are also going to be out of it here. And Corey Long, Casey Drake, Omar Diallo, and Joe Burgee round out your top 20.
And it's Basin, Bain, Mon, Rupp, Johnson, Kyler rounding out the rest of the order. We'll be right back right after this as we total up points. We'll get you right back to provide you with the top 4, or the final 4 after tonight's race. And we welcome everybody back here live for the iSCAR RaceLabs Cup Series. Gonna go ahead and tune into our full race results. I mean, not full race results, but after tonight, we've already crowned in our final 4 from this one. And for these 4 drivers of... Oh, excuse me. Yeah, Parker White, Christopher Weil, Nick Miller, Cole Williams. Well, that's going to be your final 4 coming into to Homestead, and that's a well-deserved final 4 for all those drivers. We're gonna go ahead and drag them top 3 into the booth here after tonight. And for Hunter Johnson, I mean, he's walking home with $20 after tonight. He won the Wednesday race, and here he is, another $10 to add to his resume to make it 20. Hunter, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, Hunter, man, it was an interesting race throughout tonight. Strategies were split with that green flag run, but I mean, this time the caution didn't bite you, and you come out as a winner here with this one. And I mean, it wasn't a smooth sailing. With that caution, it sort of reset some things, and your teammate Connor Brandon was all over you, especially coming to the white flag. So congratulations first off, and how'd you pull off?
Yeah, I felt pretty good in practice, like right off the bat, and then came qualifying. I kind of cut it close with Wild, but I didn't realize the second lap was faster. But I still got him by a couple thousand. So in the race, I mean, it was really just it was kind of about saving tires. I let Wild go a bunch just to you know, kind of let him burn his stuff up, then reel him back in. And that was working, especially like it worked the first time, but then on the second run, he was, as I was starting to reel him back in, we caught a caution, and I sped on a pit road, so that kind of set me back a little bit. We were able to drive through the field pretty quickly and get by a lot of the guys that didn't take any tires. They were going to be in a pretty good position if we got a caution with like 20 to go there, because chances were we were going to get another caution after that, and then they would be able to come back down, have a fresh set of tires, and use that for the sprint to the end. So thankfully for us, that didn't happen. I was working with Connor Brennan, AJ Bain for Supercell Racing there, so got a shout out to those guys. I'm definitely going to be giving a portion of the race winnings to Connor there for his help coming to the last lap. But we were still trying to race each other. He gave me a good battle to the inside into one on the last lap, but just couldn't make it stick. So yeah, overall it was a fun race, and glad I could get 2 out of 3 this week so far.
Yeah, man, congratulations on Hunter Johnson. Leads 38 out of the 87 laps here for tonight. Before we let you go, any sponsors want to thank you for tonight?
Yeah, I just got to thank you guys, or I'm not sure if there was a second broadcaster, but at least you, Zeke, and then Max Speed TV for putting on the broadcast, everyone for watching, and like I said, Supercell Racing, kind of partially working with them alongside Proximity, so just all those guys, and yeah.
Alright, about 10-4, Hunter Johnson rounds himself out in victory lane after starting himself on the top. Go ahead and see you coming to the next race, bud.
Alright, thank you.
We'll go ahead and drag in number 92 with Connor Brennan into the booth. Connor finishes second. Tried to pull the repeat here from last year, but unfortunately coming short here in second spot. Connor, regardless though, you had a nice run leading 14 out of the scheduled 87 laps here for tonight. What could you have done better there off of that final restart? You got to Hunter, but it seems as though you just couldn't pass.
Yeah, I mean, when he gave me the bottom, I just knew I was not going to be able to get him. It was just really, I was struggling all night running the bottom. My car was super loose on exit whenever I ran there. So I knew I just wasn't going to be able to get him, but really satisfied just to have a shot at the win there. I was not confident at the beginning.
Yeah, that's right. You ran top 3 this whole entire event, and of course that late race caution definitely played a huge factor into tonight. So unfortunate, short of the $10 here for tonight, but what could you do coming to Pocono, maybe tomorrow?
I really like Pocono, so I think I'll be able to run good tomorrow. I have had a lot of success at Pocono in iSCAR actually, so I'm definitely excited for that race and should be fast tomorrow night.
Alright, about 10-4, Connor Brandon rounds himself out in second place after starting himself in 4th. But before we let you go, any sponsors want to take care for tonight?
Yeah, Supercell Racing. We ran a good race today. We had great strategy and we just worked together really well. Able to get a 1-2 finish, so really happy about that. And of course, AJ Bain, he got like 22nd, but he really helped us do good, so it doesn't matter.
Alright, about 10-4, Connor Brandon rounds himself out on second place after leading 14 laps. Go ahead and see you coming next race, bud.
Yep, thank you.
We'll go ahead and drag in the Parker White machine into the booth. He rounds himself out in 3rd and very secure onto the Final 4 coming next week. Parker, congratulations, man, for making a Final 4 ticket off of Indy. And man, looking at this whole entire list of these drivers who are going to be in the Final Four, you got Miller, you got Weil, you got Williams, and yourself. It's stacked for the Cup Series coming in. So what are you going to have to do at Homestead to get yourself good and to get yourself a championship?
Well, personally, I think I'm just going to have to put some laps in because the IRC Butter Lawn Care Series went there, I think, like a week ago, and I'd literally turned no practice laps before, and it was a championship race. So I definitely wasn't really slow, but I didn't really know really what I was doing. But I definitely did have some pace in that race. So I'm going to kind of use that and the information I collected from that and kind of transfer that over into Homestead next Saturday night, and maybe try to just turn a few more practice laps to just try to secure my knowledge of what I'm going to have to do. So just like I said, just practice, I think, is going to be key. Maybe run a few AI races because they have Homestead and Cup cars in the AI. And I think if I could just do that and just maybe find out how the dirty air works more, but like it's pretty simple. You just get behind the car and you can't really turn. But also clean air is going to be a pretty big thing too. So yeah, basically just practice and I think I'll be fine.
All right, about 10-4. You mentioned that you ran Homestead a couple of weeks ago, but of course that's prior to the build, and of course with this upcoming build, definitely widens out the grooves around Homestead. So of course you're going to log into practice laps. I'm interested to see what your feedback is going to be during your little practice session. But we'll rewind just a bit after tonight's event. Congratulations on your third place finish. First off, led a couple of laps, led 4 in total, started yourself in 7th place, and got yourself a podium position. So how'd you end up there?
I honestly was just gonna try to ride around the entire race. There was just a bunch of us on the voice call together, and we were just gonna try to stay on the same strategy. So we got those first couple of yellows, and then I think we got one like lap 25. And I remember like Andy McDowell and I were saying, and Cole Williams were just like, should we pit here? And we're like, yeah, we'll pit. And Cole and I just said that we're only going to take fuel. And Andy's like, if we just take tires here, this might really benefit us, because I if I'm not mistaken, that yellow that we had then was spread out just by a car stopping on the track. So we thought that if we took tires there, that we'd have some speed. And so we did end up taking tires there, but Cole didn't take the risk. So he just took fuel only when Andy and I took 4 and fuel. So I think that definitely benefited, because I think I restarted pretty decently deep in the field, and I was able to drive myself up all the way up to the lead at one point, but I was only leading because the 2 leaders had pit at the time. But I was talking with Andy, and I said we should probably pit around like lap 60 for our green flag stop, but then everyone else just started pitting, and we couldn't really take the risk to stretch it that long. So he came in lap 54, I came in 55, and I just didn't really want to speed on pit road just because I knew that I had a cushion and point. So I just really got the car slowed down coming into pit road. I lost a couple seconds doing that, but it's always better to be safe than sorry. So I'm happy I did that. I was able to make up those spots back on that short green flag run we had there to the end, and then we got that caution. So I had to come back in, put 4 tires on it. That put me restarting 3rd for the first green, or not the green one checkered, but that first sprint to the end there. I was able to pass Connor there, get into 2nd. I was hoping we'd be able to time the restart there in the 2nd one, but I'm pretty sure Connor and Hunter were in the same call because they went at the same time on that second green one checkered. So then we got another yellow, and I was starting 3rd. I remember Connor and I were like door-to-door leaning on each other going through turn 2 there, just trying to get 2nd. I think I had a nose on him, but just the way that the scoring works, I got put back into 3rd just because of the scoring loops and stuff for the final restart. So I knew if I could basically just hang on, because anytime I get to talk to you up here in the booth, it's a pretty good run. So I was just able to hang on there on the last green light checkered and get 3rd. Like I saw Connor and Hunter get side by side there going down the front stretch. So I was like, all right, maybe I could try to take a wider arc and get a run through the corner and build up some momentum. But I did gain some on Connor. Like I got like within a tenth of him, but I just didn't take the chance. I didn't really want to wreck him or anything. So I just rode the last lap out there in third, and it got us a pretty good finish.
All right, but 10 for Parker White rounds himself out in third after starting himself in second, leading 4 laps out of the scheduled 87. Before we let you go, any sponsor want to thank you for tonight?
Yeah, I've got to thank everyone that came out to race here tonight. I've got to thank my team, Maryland Motorsports, Bunger Lawn Care, EO Media, and I've got to thank you guys up here at Max Speed TV for all the broadcasts you do every week.
All right, by 10 for Parker White rounds himself out in third after starting himself 7th. Go ahead and see you for the next race, bud.
All right, thank you.
That's Parker White in the 095, and that'll be it here from Indy. Thank you all for watching here tonight for the Max Speed TV broadcast. Indiana 200 now into the books, and I can't wait to see everybody coming next week at Homestead. Tune in coming tomorrow as well, as we will gonna go ahead and see the Xfinity cars at Pocono. But regardless, thank you all for tuning in with this iSCAR RaceLabs Cup Series event. Round number 19 out of 20 into the books, and with that, we're signing off. Peace out, y'all. We'll see you next time.